All right, coming in at number 14 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings. He's heading to Boston University, and he's bringing the best shot in the draft with him. It's left winger Cole Eiserman.
Yeah, Cole Eiserman is a pure goal scorer in every sense of the word, Ross. With the USNTDP in 57 games, he had 58 goals,
Excuse me?
more than a goal per game pace. That's nuts. Had 31 assists as well for 89 points. So 89 points in 57 games. You'll love to see that. And then Ross, if you wanted to see him do it on the world stage, he backed it up as well with the US U18 team in 7 games, 9 goals and 1 assist. So this guy is able to score at a goal per game pace or more in recent history. It's absolutely incredible what kind of sniper he is.
So why is he not higher than in the teens on our rankings? That's a question that we'll answer over the course of this draft profile. He is one of the youngest players in the draft. The 6-foot, 197-pound winger is born in late August, and we know the draft calendar flips in mid-September. He has an average rank of 12.4, but he's in the top 10 for both Scott Wheeler at 7 and Craig Button at 9. Bob McKenzie and Elite Prospects both agree that he's 13th on their list. Chris Peters has him at 14, McKean's at 15, and Corey Pronman down at 16 on his list. What about that shot makes it so dangerous and so unstoppable?
Oh man, there's so many things, Ross. The thing is, a lot of guys that have a good shot, they have one type of good shot, right? It's the slap shot, it's the wrister, it's the quick release. With Cole Eiserman, it's all 3 of those things, and he might be the best at all 3 of those things too. Like it's insane how good he is. EP awarded him the best shot in the draft. No shock there. Usually they give 3 little attributes in the top right corner of what he's good at. Sniper, sniper, sniper was all 3 of them. They didn't even bother doing another one because that's what he does. Our friend Cam Robinson with EP did an article on him where he mentions he's an adequate skater and can be physical at times. So trying to give him a little bit more, but really it's all about the shot. You see the elite one-timer. You see the wicked wrist shot. You see the quick release in tight. Like there's also teammates love playing with him, Ross, because he makes a bad pass look like perfection. There's no way you can give this guy a bad pass. He can angle his body so that he can open his shot up. He can shift it over through his skates to his shooting side. Like this kid, all you got to do is get him the puck and he's going to find a way to put it in the back of the net. And he's elite at finding ways to get open. If teams have a book on him and they're like, ooh, we got to watch him in this spot, he's going to stand in that spot. And if he starts getting covered, he's going to say, I'm going to slowly drift over here. And teammates know he's going to be there. There are so many replays, Ross. Now, of course, when you play with the USNTDP, you're playing among the best players in the draft class. So they're top tier playmakers that he's with. But there was guys doing no-look passes to him with pure confidence. I know Eiserman's going to be there. And he was, and he'd one time at home. Like, again, just a pure goal scorer in bold, underlined, highlighted font. That's what Eiserman does.
And maybe this is too LOSP of us. We know that people watching this, your team maybe just drafted Cole Eiserman, but go watch Danny Heatley highlights from back in the day.
Yes.
He has some Danny Heatley in him. And when you mention, and I noticed this as well, the way he makes a bad pass look good, that was what made Danny Heatley such an elite goal scorer. Yeah, the release was great, but any pass in his feet was in the back of the net. It's just an innate talent that some guys have. In Ottawa, we've been lucky. We've seen Mike Hoffman very similar. I've seen him be compared to Mike Hoffman a little bit because away from the puck and in his own zone, Pilsy, it's not as sexy as the highlight reel for Cole Eiserman. In the games tracked by elite prospects and in the US NTDP U18s, like the defense is almost non-existent. Is the offense good enough that it makes up for it? Is a question that a team's going to have to answer, because if he was as good defensively as a Brandstad Nygaard, like he would be a top 5, if not top 3 pick
Oh
in
yeah,
this
top 3
draft.
for sure. Yeah.
Like that's where the separation lies. Where's the balance? We need the balance beam. How do you weigh being so elite offensively, but yet giving a lot of that back to the other team when they're in your zone?
Ross, to answer your question, there is no balance. He is all offense. There's no defense at all. He often cheats on offense. Now, again, EP mentioned when they talked about that, you have to take into consideration he's playing on the USN TDP. So it's not like he's like, oh man, I don't really trust my defenseman there. He has full confidence in their abilities and they have full confidence in his abilities. So it's not like that guy in beer league that's hanging out at the blue line and you're like, come on, man, like come at least pretend to come back on defense. They're like, no, we got this and you got that. It's all good. So he might have to adjust as he goes to Boston University and moving forward here. But that's just the thing, Ross. You look at the scout chatter that EP includes in their guidelines. And
I love, let me know if this is the one you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Okay.
you hit it.
He's too one-dimensional, but that dimension is incredible.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it, Ross. And so many scouts are just like, yeah, we get it. He's got the shot, but there's not really anything else to his game. And that's where you start looking at a guy like Cole Eiserman and you're like, is he going to flame out when he's not able to help out in other areas, or if he's not able to find that perfect chemistry like a Danny Heatley found a Jason Spezza? Like what happened to Heatley when he was away from Spezza? Sure.
Yeah,
He's
still
still
okay, but yeah,
he's still good. He's probably going to get you 20, 25 goals. But
40. The cherry on top. Well, he was also playing with Joe Thornton after. So
well, there, yeah. So let's look at Danny Heatley in Minnesota when he didn't have that facility.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
In Anaheim, hey, Anaheim Heatley.
Yeah, or in the DEL.
Because he even had Mark Savard at his prime in Atlanta too. So he got lucky. He played with a lot of good players, but he certainly found a different level with back-to-back 50-goal seasons. But yeah, you're right. In Minnesota, it was a 24, 25-goal guy. Yeah, in San Jose, at 39 his first year, then 26 in the 2 years. So you're right. It did kind of wane off right afterwards. But the problem too with Cole Eiserman, from according to one scout, is that he's too predictable in the offensive zone. He gets tunnel vision. He's like, I'm just going to grip it and rip it. And it's easier when you're doing that at lower levels. Let's see how it translates to college. Let's see if his buddy Macklin Celebrini's with him at Boston University, or if he's going to have to find chemistry with not a first overall talent. And we'll see where it goes from there. I think that could be a huge game changer, whether or not he gets a year to grow with Celebrini, or more likely what he's going to do when Celebrini turns pro and he's going to have to find a way to drive a line himself.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, Ross. He played with Celebrini at Shattuck St. Mary's U14, and the numbers are absolutely insane. I don't have them with me, but it was part
I
of
do. They're
Cam's article.
hilarious.
Read them off.
They played 50 games, which is pretty wild for 13-year-old kids.
Yeah.
He had 97 goals in 50 games and 154 points. Macklin Celebrini had 141 points on that team. So he was outscored by Eiserman. Obviously, they did a ton of damage together. But let me repeat this. 97 goals in 50 games. Eiserman hasn't just found a scoring touch this past year. He's been scoring since he started to skate.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable, the instinct that he has for getting the puck in the back of the net. I love that skill, but he's in this range for me. Like 13, I think I've got him at 13, if not 14. But I wouldn't take the swing at him in the top 10 because there's so many more complete players that also have a similar, maybe not as high goal scoring wise, but a similar level of overall upside for how you're going to impact a hockey game.
Ross, I've just been thinking, and what I want to happen is for the San Jose Sharks to draft Eiserman. Imagine cool. You could keep that duo together in college and then up in the NHL. And hey, look, where do we have him, Ross? We got him at 14. That's where the San Jose Sharks next first rounder is. So that would just be poetic justice, and I'm kind of rooting for that now, actually.
The Ottawa Senators pick 7th, but how many Sens stars are you giving to Cole Eiserman?
So I'm giving Cole Eiserman 4 Sens stars here. Look, there is not one single scout that is down on his shooting, scoring ability. Everybody understands and recognizes that. However, there's nothing else to his game, unfortunately. So for me, I would look at taking a Michael Brandsegg-Nygaard over him just because there's more projectable talents. But if you're a team that already has an elite playmaker that you can see him playing with, I think you got to take a chance on this guy because those two could make Spezza Heatley magic right there. So I like him, but I'm not about to take Cole Eiserman with the 7th overall pick. So therefore, he's a 4-star guy for me. If you're gonna take a swing on a guy, you want it to be a guy with a great shot and great goal scoring ability, but he's got to have at least some other inklings of other parts of his game, which Eiserman does not, at least for now.
As Elite Prospects put it, all Cole Eiserman does is score goals. When he scored the go-ahead goal in the gold medal game at the U18s, he cleared the previous mark that was set by Cole Caulfield in 2019. Nice. That's a line from the Elite Prospects Draft Guide, one of the best resources going. They have him as shades of Phil Kessel, and I see that. And guess what? Phil Kessel was a heck of an NHLer for a long time. But Cole Eiserman, if he can work on getting a little more deception and vision in the offensive zone, the sky is the absolute limit for the best shot in this draft class. With an average rank of 12.4, Cole Eiserman comes in at number 14 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings. For more, go check us out on YouTube.